Yo folks, coming at you with an emergency video. Hide your kids, hide your wives, cause the Martians are here. Alright, first of all, I want to talk about this video that is going viral. I posted this over on my Twitter as well. If you guys got Twitter, I would definitely love to have you there. Crazy footage, something just crashed in Portugal. Looks like a meteor, right? And a lot of other people were sharing this. There are multiple different videos, clips going viral about this, and it's real. It also reminds me of a meteor crash that happened in Russia too, right? That was captured on a dash cam similar to this, but this time it happens to be at nighttime and you can see the colors. It does look quite awesome. So that's going around. Some people think it's aliens, some think it's just a meteor, bro, just a meteor. Some things it's more than just a meteor. I want to know your thoughts on it. Like this video, subscribe if you're brand new. And originally I was just gonna do this video, and I guess let's roll it.
I felt like there was something seriously wrong. They said these weren't human doctors. This was an alien face.
Many people believe in aliens,
right?
but some people swear they have met them and even traveled to their planet.
You're a storm chaser, like UFOs every couple weeks.
I'd reverse that. It's almost like they're chasing me.
Are these people con artists or just deranged?
Yeah,
What? You saw these planets how?
Kind of a space. Я плохо несу, поэтому я точно не могу нести.
How did you see those planets? Because I was in space. Holy crap. Guys, we upload every single day, so if you're new, welcome on in. If you're OG, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you.
As we look at some of these encounters. 20. Elizabeth Clarer, the alien spouse. Elizabeth Clarer was a South African woman who, beginning in 1956, publicly claimed to have been contacted by aliens several times between 1954 and 1963. Her first trip allegedly occurred when she was 7 years old, and she was among the first women to claim a sexual relationship with an alien. She advocated for a better world and believed in cosmic consciousness. In her book, Beyond the Light Barrier, she attempted to impart a message of peace, love, understanding, and ecology, which she attributed to the superior wisdom of a...
So, like, does she have kids? I'm assuming she does. And you're saying that one of the kid, or if not more than one of the kid, is that of alien? I don't know, man. This sounds crazy.
Sophisticated and flawlessly utopian Venusian culture. She pushed conspiracy theories about an international cover-up that kept crucial information hidden from the public, and she said she was threatened with abduction to expose facts regarding alien technology. Experts concluded Clara's claims were generally poorly substantiated, despite some of them being corroborated by witnesses. 19. Alien sighting. Thumbnail. In our thumbnail, we can see an alien in what looks like an interrogation room, waiting to be questioned. He looks like most aliens we've all seen in movies, but is he real? 18. George Adamski. George Adamski was a well-known Polish-American novelist in UFO circles and, to a lesser extent, popular culture. He presented various images of extraterrestrial spacecraft from the 1940s and 1950s, claiming to have met nice Nordic alien space brothers and flown with them to the moon and other worlds. Adamski was the first and most prominent of several alleged UFO contactees who rose to fame in the 1950s. He identified himself as a philosopher, teacher, student, and saucer researcher, but most investigators dismissed him as a charlatan and scam artist, concluding that his claims were an elaborate fraud. Adamski wrote 3 books on his encounters with Nordic aliens and his trips on their spaceships. The first 2 books were bestsellers, selling 200,000 copies each by 1960.
That's insane, man. Like, imagine, right? Like, brothers like, hey man, so how much the ticket cost to go to your planet? Okay, okay, so free? Can I hop on? And the alien brothers are like, yeah, hop on, bro, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna show you around town. And he sees a different kind of town after that, right? Like, okay, so he came back after the trip, so I guess all was good, right? All was good.
In addition to his contributions to ufology in the United States, Adamski's work gained popularity in other nations, particularly Japan, and inspired numerous images of aliens and UFOs in post-war Japanese culture and media. 17. Gil Perez, a space traveler. In fiction, frequent story arcs include ESP, time travel, and teleportation, so why not? It's a fascinating thought, especially since scientists believe it's quite plausible. According to folklore, in October 1593, a Spanish Empire soldier named Gil Perez was miraculously transported from Manila, Philippines, to Mexico City's Plaza Mayor. The soldier's claim to have come from the Philippines was disbelieved by the Mexicans until his tale of the assassination of Gómez Pérez das Marinas was confirmed months later by passengers on a ship crossing the Pacific Ocean with the news. In 1908, folklorist Thomas Allibone Janvier described the tradition as current among all classes of the population of the City of Mexico. 20th century paranormal investigators who believe the narrative have proposed teleportation and alien abduction as possible explanations.
Holy.
16. Peter
Man, we have like so many stories like that from different people that like, yeah, they were either abducted or they have lost of consciousness, lost of memory, and they were, for example, let's just say they were in New York, right? And all of a sudden they would be all the way across the country, Las Vegas, right? Like that's insane. And they wouldn't know how they got there. There was a story that was actually heard that it happened, and and that story sounded real because there was some evidence to back up the claims. The police was involved as well. I don't remember the actual name of the story because it's been so long, but I remember hearing it. And there, how many times you heard stories like that? Let me know in the comments, because I heard plenty of them. So I'm assuming, mathematically speaking, right, at least one of them, 1 out of 10, gotta be real. It's strange because I believe it's also linked with the missing 411, which is also linked with alien abductions and with people going missing. Some of them get found, some not so much, and some that do get found, sometimes it's like they're found like in a completely insane way where like they have lost their memory and they do not know how they got from point A to point B, but the distance between point A and B, that's the part that's quite baffling. Hashtag bafflegang, rise up.
Faust, abducted by aliens. Peter Faust used to refuse to discuss his idea that he had been abducted by aliens several times since he was a child. However, decades after claiming he was initially experimented on, the former chef and hotel manager thinks the lessons from the aliens have improved his life. Speaking on The Oprah Winfrey Show, he indicated that he wanted to talk about his experience in case others were going through the same thing, but were unaware of what was going on. He used to be afraid to talk about it. When Oprah asked if he recognized how crazy it sounded, he agreed with her. He had to deal with his own lunacy and accept that it was insane for him to think this before he could talk to others about it.
Yeah.
He began having memories as an adult and was terrified, so he sought the assistance of a psychiatrist. He began regression therapy, which triggered further memories of past events, including the night he said he was abducted. He couldn't remember his first experience when he was 8 years old. He knew something happened in the middle of the night that he couldn't explain, and that his imagination couldn't have conjured it up. It stayed with him for a long time. He went on to claim that he wanted to pretend he had merely had a horrible dream, which he did for years, until he finally accepted what happened. 15. Charles Hickson. The Pascagoula abduction was an alleged UFO sighting and alien abduction in 1973, in which Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker claimed to have been abducted, investigated, and then released by aliens while fishing near Pascagoula, Mississippi.
So when you say investigating, what do you mean by that? Define did they like investigate you as like did they check your background? Did they probe you or something like that? Because yeah, like what did they do to you exactly? I also heard a story, and again I don't remember the name, but it's like a guy was apparently he claimed that he was abducted by the aliens, and later on like he done an X-ray and there was something that was implanted inside his brain, I believe, right? And then with the surgery they got that thing out, right? Not sure how true that story is, but yeah, there was that story as well that was circling around too.
Mississippi. On the evening of October 11th, 1973, 42-year-old Charles Hickson and 19-year-old Calvin Parker reported to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office that they were fishing off a pier on the west bank of the Pascagoula River in Mississippi when they heard a whirring, whizzing sound, saw 2 flashing blue lights, and saw an oval-shaped object 30 to 40 feet across and 8 to 10 feet high.
Definitely stay away from these cheeky bastards and these oval flights that are flying around in the sky, ladies and gentlemen. And my guy got that monkey beard though. Damn. Yo, that was the swag all the way. That was the swag back in the days, man. Is that like 90s? I feel like that this is so like 90s look. Could be 80s though, but I feel like it's 90s. Early 90s, kind of.
Parker and Hickson claimed to be conscious but paralyzed as 3 creatures with robotic Parker and Hickson claimed to be conscious but paralyzed as 3 creatures with robotic slit mouths and crab-like pincers led them on board the UFO and examined them. Following the occurrence, Hickson conducted interviews and lectures, appeared on television, claimed to have had other contacts with aliens, and self-published the book UFO Contact in Pascagoula in 1983. Parker later visited UFO conventions and in 1993 founded UFO Investigations to generate UFO-related television stories. In September 2011, Hickson died following a heart attack. 14.
Man.
Terence McKenna. Terence Kemp McKenna, an American ethnobotanist and mystic, promoted the responsible use of naturally occurring hallucinogenic herbs. He lectured and wrote on a variety of topics, including psychedelic substances, plant-based entheogens,
DMT?
shamanism, metaphysics, alchemy, language, philosophy, culture, technology, ethnomycology, environmentalism, and the theoretical foundations of human consciousness. He is sometimes referred to as the Timothy Leary of the 90s, one of the leading authorities on the ontological foundations of shamanism, and he was described as the intellectual voice of rave culture. McKenna developed a hypothesis about the nature of time based on fractal patterns he claimed to have uncovered in the I Ching, which he dubbed novelty theory, and proposed that it prophesied the end of time and a shift in consciousness in 2012. His advocacy of novelty theory and its relation.
Oh man, the 2012 was dark times, ladies and gentlemen. Those were dark times. I remember like being in a school around that time, and it's like everybody was like, yeah, 2012 is gonna be the end of times. And you guys understand that I was super young at that time, right? And seeing the posts over on Facebook, the world is ending, the world is ending. Videos were seeing some videos about how the world is gonna end. Then 2012 movie came out. I don't know when that 2012 movie came out. Did it come out in 2012 or before 2012? Yeah, man, those were dark times, man. Dark times. Those were strange times. And guess what? We still here, man. We still here. We still here. So, moral of the story: nobody can predict the end of the world. And the end of the world, obviously, everybody has their definition, right? What I think about the end of the world is that, like, hey, extinction. Fully, completely, for all species. That's like the end and the end of the world, Judgment Day, right? I guess you can call it Judgment Day instead, right? If you're atheist, you're gonna have a different definition. That's perfectly fine. But from a religious standpoint, I guess this would have a definition of like Judgment Day, where every species gone. It's just over. Finito, dunzo, gonzo, right? But the end of the world can also be looked as, hey, a lot of people just vanished, but few have still remained, like how it happens in the movie 2012, right? That they have a ship towards the end, and they try to save some species, right? Like at least they would get a pair of the elephants, a pair of like all the animals, so you know in the future they can also make sure that they do not go fully extinct. They get the animals on board, they get the humans on board as much as possible, and yeah, it has ended the world effectively. The meteor that, or the tsunami, the meteor, and whatever that happens, and that, yeah, it's the earthquakes, so ends the world completely, but still not, the people are left, so that's also called consider end of the world. But yeah. So back in the days, there was a whole lot of that. I guess a lot of people have learned that, yeah, bro, nobody can predict this, bro. Nobody can predict this.
Relationship to the Maya calendar is one of the causes contributing to popular belief in the 2012 event. Novelty hypothesis is considered a pseudoscience by experts. 13. Vinny O, the space makeup artist. In sunny Los Angeles, California, one makeup artist has spent over $50,000 to become a genderless alien. And so far, this guy is killing it. Vinny O.
You should have gave $50,000 to everybody that's like watching this video, myself included. Like the video if you agree. Like the video if you agree.
22, does not identify as male or female and is considering plastic surgery to help reflect this. Vinny has undergone over 110 cosmetic treatments and is currently considering removing his genitalia, belly button, and nipples, which might cost an additional $160,000. He wants to project an alien-like image. He wants to be a hybrid, neither male nor female. He's longed to be sexless and genderless since he was 17.
Why?
He has visited doctors to see if it is possible, but has had no success. He does not want others to assume he is trying to become a woman. He can live without sexual organs, so why should he have genitals? Vinny frequently wears heavy black contacts and talons on his fingernails to enhance his otherworldly appearance. He is attempting to awaken people by demonstrating that gender roles in society are meaningless and that we must be better human beings and more tolerant of one another. His purpose is to transform everyone's perception of what is different than the norm. 12. Travis Walton.
Travis Walton. Yeah, that's my boy Travis. That's my boy Travis. Why am I even saying that's my boy? That's my man Travis. That's Travis the man. Travis the man. How many of you guys are aware of the story? If you're not, you're about to. Travis Walton, if I'm not mistaken, went over on Joe Rogan podcast as well. He has this documentary. He ran through a series of lie detecting tests as well. lie detector doesn't mean that if you pass lie detector, it doesn't mean that you're honest or 100% true. There's a reason why they do not use lie detecting or lie detector in courtrooms, because it's, you know, you can manipulate it. From what I've heard and from my understanding, you can manipulate it, but still, it's like one of those things, right? Like, if you're gonna make a super big claim, they're gonna at least do their due diligence, gather feedback, opinions, talk to relatives, also gather evidence, and you know what, as a last resort, you get to do these lie detecting tests to see if a person is lying or being truthful, just to gather like enough data and enough evidence so you can make your conclusion. And the conclusion here is that he was speaking the truth about being abducted by the Elamals, the aliens.
Travis Walton, an American forestry worker, was allegedly abducted by aliens on November 5th, 1975, while working with a logging team in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in Heber, Arizona. On October 20th, 1975, NBC broadcast The UFO Incident, a special made-for-TV film about the purported alien abduction of Barney and Betty Hill. The film portrayed a motorist walking through the woods, approaching an overhead light when he was struck by a light beam. Within weeks following the broadcast, Walton was reported missing to law authorities after walking into the woods towards an overhead light and being illuminated by a beam of light. Police organized several search groups to find the missing man. After 5 days and 6 hours, shortly after midnight on November 12th, Walton called his sister from a payphone in Heber, claiming to have...
This has to be from a movie, right? What movie is that? Anybody knows the name? Yeah, I suppose, like, from my understanding, this story was like really big, right? And he's considered to be one of the most convincing story of the alien abduction. And seeing all of this footage, I feel like it's from a movie. Gotta be a movie
reappeared following the abduction. Within days, Walton sold his story to the National Enquirer, which published it nationwide and gave the crew a $5,000 prize.
Right.
Walton wrote a book about his alleged abduction called The Walton Experience in 1978, which...
Oh yeah, I heard about this movie. Never watched it though, but I heard about this movie and it came out... okay, but the story happened all the way in 1975, so the movie must have come around like between 5 years, so I'm assuming it's likely an 80s movie, if not 70s.
Was transformed into the 1993 film Fire in the Sky.
Okay,
Walton's story attracted widespread attention, and he remains a frequent guest on television shows and podcasts. The Walton incident is largely viewed as a fake, especially among UFO and extraterrestrial abduction believers.
Crazy.
They mentioned that the Waltons were long-standing UFO enthusiasts and pranksters who had recently seen a TV movie about an alleged alien abduction. They claimed that one motivation for the fake abduction was to provide an act of God that would allow the logging crew to avoid a significant financial penalty from the Forestry Service for failing to fulfill their contract by the deadline. 11. Simon Park's an alien adoptive son.
Holy crap. Okay. I mean, for sure, like, we need both sides. Like, I'm gonna be the first guy to say, even if, like, for example, if there is something that's very convincing in terms of, like, aliens and UFOs, right? And I'm believing it, I would then, even then, I would prefer the opposite. Like, opposite point of view, not like, hey, it's fake, and that's it. Not just that, but I want to know, like, why you think it's fake, any evidence, because like this way we can have discussion and we can come to the truth. Because at the end of the day, as fascinating as this topic is, and I truly do love this topic, this is why I do this channel, this is my second channel, but and I love talking about this stuff, absolutely, I'm a believer, but I also do want to know like, yeah, it's fascinating to hear it, and I enjoy this topic, but I also want to know the truth, right? Don't you want to know the truth? You want to know the truth, right? So definitely like and subscribe. But we definitely need the opposing arguments as well, for sure, to further the discussion and coming to the conclusion. But yeah, we also need the truth from the government, but I guess that's not an option, though, so...
A labor lawmaker has said that he lost his virginity at the age of 5 to an alien adoptive son. A labor fulfill their contract by the deadline. 11. Simon Park's an alien adoptive son. A labor lawmaker has said that he lost his virginity at the age of 5 to an alien hologram. Simon Parks, a counselor in Whitby, North Yorkshire, claims he has been visited and taken by extraterrestrials since he was in his mother's womb and has no fear of them. The 53-year-old went on to say that anyone who thought his beliefs made him an unacceptable spokesman for Stakesby should not be concerned, since the aliens never take him during meetings because they dislike large crowds. Parks stated that the type of extraterrestrial he was most regularly visited by were mantids, who were green and 7 feet tall, and presented a depiction of one who frequently came to visit him while wearing a cloak. Parks, aware that some people cannot handle the truth, suggested that anyone who felt he was unsuitable for the position of counselor in Whitby instead vent their rage on those members of parliament who stole money, defrauded the country, got others to take penalty points for them, and on the great tycoon.
So, from my understanding is that the aliens are getting way too much action on humans, right? They're getting too much action in comparison to all of us. Like, they're getting way more action than all of you watching combined right now. What? What the hell is going on?
And bankers who almost destroyed Britain. Parks has previously spoken openly about his disagreements with his wife after disclosing that he had a child named Zarka with an alien he refers to as the Cat Queen. He stated that he has sexual intercourse with the alien around 4 times every year. Parks, who spends hours painting his extraterrestrial encounters to help him cope with them, claims the only thing he remembers after meeting the aliens is them telling him he will never be hurt. 10. Dean Lindsay. Extraterrestrial real estate refers to claims of land ownership on other planets, natural satellites, or areas of space made by specific organizations or people. Previous claims are not recognized by any authority and lack legal standing. Nonetheless, some people and organizations, including Dean Lindsay, have claimed ownership of celestial bodies such as the moon and are actively involved in selling sections of them through certificates of ownership known as lunar deeds. He got a deed of claim notarized, declaring his ownership of all property known as planets, islands in space, or other things. He then submitted the deed at the Irwin County Courthouse in Ocilla, Georgia, and it was entered in the deed book. Lindsay became well known as the man who owned the universe after bringing his ownership rights to the attention of media.
Can a brother get some, maybe 5 million square feet on the moon or something like that? Is that how it works? Okay, what am I even saying, bro? What? You own the land on different planets? That's crazy. That's crazy. How much it costs though? How much it costs to get your house booked on the red planet, the Mars, right? Is it gonna be super expensive, or is it gonna be like super inexpensive because nobody's there? So you know, in society right now, it's like the further you go from the cities, the less expensive the housing market is, right? So I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make some sense out of this one. So if you're gonna go on a different planet, mathematically speaking, you're like hundreds of thousands of miles away from civilization and society, right? So it should be $1. Can a brother get it for 2 pennies though? You know, that's a bargain though, you know? 2 pennies, that's a good deal. I would say that's a good deal.
However, skeptics questioned what gave Irwin County the authority to provide deeds to the heavenly bodies.
Guys, I will be making a part 2 of this very soon, but for now, check out this video on the screen. Yay, we had a ton of UFO footage in this one. I think you're really gonna like it. If you already seen it, then check out the video on the left.